The Orlando International Airport is building a Muslim-style prayer room after beginning nonstop flights to Dubai. So Raw Story reports on this. But not everyone is on board with the plan. The reflection room will be similar to chapels already set aside at many airports, although Orlando's $250,000 space will offer facilities for Muslims to wash themselves before praying and signs to point them toward Mecca. So conservatives are flipping out over this. One blogger said, quote, "Yeah, that's sure to make a Judeo-Christian nation," which we aren't, by the way, "feel more comfortable after seeing all the Islamic-related tragedies that have taken place on our soil over the past 15 years. This prayer room is clearly connected to international terrorism." Yeah, I'm sure it is. Let me give you one more conservative quote here. They say, "Orlando is pathetic, caving to Muslims and Sharia law. I'll find another airport to fly into." So it's Sharia law to have a prayer room for Muslims in an airport. That's Sharia law. You sure about that? That you would call that Sharia? So I guess by the same token, it of course was a Christian theocracy when you had a chapel in there, and the chapel's been there all along. So you protested that too, right? When it was a Christian theocracy, because the chapel was there. You were against that too, right? You didn't say that, did you? Of course you didn't, because you're a hypocrite. Now, here's the most important part of the story. Quote, "The airport receives 30% of its funding from the airlines, and the rest comes from user fees generated by the restaurants, hotels, and other businesses that lease commercial space at the airport." So if this was a public situation, I would be 100% against it. I would be leading the charge against it. And in fact, when I read the article, I was ready to come out here and say, I disagree with the prayer room, because if a dime of taxpayer funding is going towards it, that violates separation of church and state or mosque and state, and I would say, no way, no way. But like I just told you, that's not where the funding comes from. So this is a private thing that's happening. Tax money is not going to build the room. So since that's the case, it doesn't matter whether I like or dislike Muslim prayer rooms or Christian prayer rooms or any other kind of prayer rooms. They get to do whatever the fuck they want because it's private. So therein lies the issue here. If it was public, I'd say I'm 100% against it, but it's not. It's private, so my opinion is irrelevant. Of course they're allowed to do it. But the hypocrisy is overwhelming from the Christians and from the conservatives, because when it was a chapel, nobody said dick. But when it's a mosque, all of a sudden, oh my God, international terrorism. But how is that linked to international terrorism? It's a prayer room. You're connecting a prayer room, which is broadly for Muslim people, and by the way, everybody's allowed in there, they say, but you're connecting that to international terror. Why? What's the only thing that they share with these international terrorists you're referring to? Like the people who did 9/11. Only the religion. That's the only connecting tissue, is the religion. But did you connect, when you saw a Christian chapel, did you say, fucking Anders Breivik, international terrorism, the guy who killed all the Islamic people because he's a Christian and he was a right-winger? Fuck, now we got a sign of Anders Breivik in here. No, you didn't do that. Because you understand that when we're talking about Christians, it's absurd to link any act of any individual Christian to the religion. But when we talk about Muslims, you do that immediately. You say, even if it's peaceful Muslims coming to pray and anybody's allowed in there, and we already have a Christian chapel, I don't care, I'm against it because I'm afraid the Muslims are coming. You're pathetic.